What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live, guys, is going to be on. I got 5 running backs that are discount running backs. Like in Dynasty, you can buy low on these guys. Redraft, you can get them late, like in the fourth, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round. So I want to talk about these running backs because I've been in some of my mock drafts, and people didn't know the value of these running backs. And so I gotta provide context of what I'm saying when I'm drafting these running backs. Um, so appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Yes, sir. I see you, Kazi. His favorite landing spot for the Aaron Jones if he doesn't resign. Yes, sir. I think he's going back to Green Bay. He's going back to Green Bay. He knows the system. They're gonna use them accordingly. They're not gonna run them into the ground. They're gonna use them at the right time and try to win a championship to help out Jordan Love. I think he's staying with Green Bay. That's easy. He's gonna go out to Green Bay for a nice deal. He's gonna retire at Green Bay. Packer. Aaron Holloway says, "I know Chase Brown got to be one of them." No, that's a different. He's a young back. These backs are going to be older, bro. These are older running backs. But yes, Chase Brown in a vacuum is the same type of value. You can get him, and he's a PPR scat back. He's going to be on like my scat back list. So guys, make sure y'all get ready. I'm finishing up my draft guide, and I'm gonna have tiers of like guys to take what they are. They compartmentalize, right? Because a lot of people don't teach that way. But there are backs that aren't like they're gonna be top 12, but they still are good backs to have on your team that can win you weeks. And I believe Chase Brown will be a guy to have on your team, providing PPR upside, catching a lot of passes and being very explosive, especially for Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to be great this year. Aaron Holloway, yes sir, bruh. Yes sir. Okay, so let's talk about the first guy. And this guy's on the thumbnail, and it's Aaron Jones. Yes, guys, Aaron Jones. Now listen, let me tell you about Aaron Jones. I don't draft older running backs. I'm not looking for them to boom. I don't want them on my team. But that's like a vacuum statement. What I mean by that, I'm taking Aaron Jones with my number 2 pick and I got a great running back. No. I'm drafting these type of guys late. If you get Aaron Jones as a flex play, and look, right now I'm gonna say flex play because I don't know ADP, but I've seen him in a couple of my drafts. He's been going like the 5th round. That's great value. That's great value for even if he's gonna be your RB1 or RB2. If you can get him in the 5th or 6th round, then you're killing it because whatever happens is not going to kill your team. Don't draft older running backs and depend on them to win you a league. That's why I'm not touching CMC. Listen, he can do it. He could go for another 17 weeks and boom, but I'm not trusting that because I don't trust older running backs. After 4 or 5 years, I'll move on from them, even in Dynasty. Now, if I got him on my team and I just want to squeeze all the juice out of him, that's fine. But I'm not going to rely on this guy. Oh my God, this guy got hurt and he killed my team. No, you cannot do that to running backs. Running backs are volatile. They go down. So Aaron Jones is a great value, guys, to go buy low on if you need to win right now. Give up like a 4th round rookie pick or something for him, right? Trade a player on your team that you don't really need. Like you could go buy low on this guy right now. And listen, when he resign and to get closer, the value is going to go up. But right now, you can get them for pennies on a dollar. So I like going to get these type of running backs when you are in win now mode. Now listen, if you're trying to redo your team and you got an older dynasty team, that's different. Or if you're in a redraft league, don't take this guy early. But if you get this guy for the right spot and the right opportunity, he could be a league-winning player. Remember, league-winning players don't got to be top 5 guys. It's 4 or 5 different type league-winning guys. There are guys that come on in the 4th quadrant that win you your championships, right? They have 5 great games and they win you your championship, right? We've seen this all since fantasy started. You don't got to boom for 14, 15 weeks. You can just have a good 4 weeks at the end of the year and you could be a league winner. Or you can just start off really, really well and get you ahead where you 6-1 in your leagues and you can go to the playoffs. So it's different things or different narratives for league winners. All right, let's move on to my number 2 guy. This is another guy. I mentioned this guy too, and it's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is getting ready to go to a championship team. Now, listen, if he went to like a bottom end team, then this video, I would be totally wrong on Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry is going to the Cowboys or the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs. So with that, guys, that makes that value tremendous. Same thing with Aaron Jones. He's going to stay on Green Bay, but Green Bay is a playoff team. So same thing with Derrick Henry. He's going to a team where they're not giving him 30 carries a game. They're going to give him all the goal line touches. Guys, there are tandems in backfields now. It's rarely you're going to find a guy that's getting 100% of the carries. So I'm giving y'all the sauce right now. You are looking for guys who's going to get the goal line touchdowns. That's why David Montgomery was so good, even though Jahmyr Gibbs is a tremendous running back, explosive. But David Montgomery gets 70% of those goal line carries if he's healthy. Now, if he's not healthy, Jahmyr Gibbs is the #1 running back in the league. But I like to get running backs that are, if they older, get them at like a Raheem Mostert. When I drafted Raheem Mostert in a couple of my leagues last year, I got him late and I just got him for goal line because I didn't think he was going to be like a top 5 running back, which he was, but I knew he was going to get goal line opportunities because of the way he played the year before. So that's what Derrick Henry, guys. I'm drafting Derrick Henry. Now listen, I don't take him in the second round. I wouldn't take him in the second round, but 3rd round, 4th round, depending on what's left out there, Derrick Henry is not a bad player. He's going to be like a David Montgomery was this year for the Detroit Lions. He's going to go to a Kansas City Chiefs team or a Baltimore Ravens team and have 10 to 15 rushing touchdowns. And that kind of puts you as a top 24 running back. And that's the only thing that we need for a Derrick Henry is to be a top 24 running back. We don't need him to be a number 5 running back because we're not drafting him to be a phenom like he's been in the past, right? So, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. I see you, D-Line. What's popping, bruh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be doing another mock tomorrow. Maybe we might do 2 mocks. I might do 2 mocks, but we will be doing another mock draft tomorrow. Single quarterback. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on to my number 3 guy. And this is a guy that people are turning your nose up for. And you didn't turn your nose up last year. I don't see why. I'm a chastise right now. I don't see why you didn't turn your nose up last year because he's the same player. And for the right value that you can get him for this year, I think he's going to be tremendous. Last year, y'all was drafting this guy as the #1 overall pick, #2 overall pick. It's not CMC. No, I'm not going to disrespect CMC. CMC is a baller. This guy, y'all was, 70% of y'all said with TD, he is a first round pick, man. And I'm like, no, he not. And then as the season went on, everybody, okay, well, yeah, he's old. Now he's old now. That quick. This guy's Austin Ekeler. Yes, guys, Austin Ekeler. Now listen, Austin Ekeler is going to go to a team where he can be the 3rd down running back, scat back guy. And that's going to give him tremendous value. He's not going to be drafted into the 4th or 5th round. Right now, his ADP is like 5th round in best ball leagues and underdog. Yes, sir, Aaron. Appreciate you. I got you, D-Line. I got you. Yes, sir, Kazi. And Austin Ekeler, guys, is going to go to a team, like say if he get the Jerick McKinnon role in Kansas City. Say he goes to Baltimore and gets like a Keith Mitchell role. Wherever Austin Ekeler goes, guys, he's going to be tremendous because of the value. Now, listen, will he be a top 5 running back? No. But can he be a top 24 running back? Yes. And you getting him at a phenom value where he could be a league winner, especially in a full PPR league. So the guys that I'm talking about are not trash. Don't just get off of these guys totally. You get off their ADP. No player is bad. It's about the ADP. You playing the ADP. You're not playing the guy. I draft anybody. I draft CMC. I'm not drafting #1 overall, but if he fall to me at the 1.8, 1.9, I'm probably going to take him. But it's all about the ADP. I'm playing the ADP. So if Austin Eckler ADP is in the 5th round, 6th round, I'm taking that all day as a flex play or my 0 RB type guy. Which you know he's gonna get. They're gonna give him opportunities to score some touchdowns because we know Austin Eckler is good around the goal line. He might not get a lot. He might have 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns, but he's going to catch 60 to 70 passes if he's healthy on any team that he's on. And that's a PPR guy. And that's a top 24 running back in a full PPR setting. And that's a couple boom weeks. So another man's trash is another man's treasure. You gotta understand that. So just because a guy don't just turn people down because they're not top 5. That's why when I talk about, thank you, D-Lion. Thank you, D-Lion. Appreciate that, bro. You always showing support. Always showing support. Appreciate that. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. So, guys, you got to know what running backs are and what they can be. I don't mind older running backs. I'm just not taking them early in a startup dynasty. But if I can get them late, like I got Raheem Mostert, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, and Aaron Jones could all be that. They can all be there. I love these guys for their value this year. I think they got killer value. D-Lion says Cody Schrader, early sleeper. Brother, I got to get to my rookies. You probably right, because I know you know your stuff. I got to get to them. I've been watching. I've seen a lot of some receivers. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I think Xavier Worthy might be a good wide receiver. He's very explosive. I like explosive wide receivers over stereotypical route runners. Marvin Harrison is good, but I would draft him if I got the right ADP and a rookie startup. But I'm not saying that Marvin Harrison is going to go out and be a top 12 wide receiver as a rookie. I would rather go to a speed demon guy. Excuse me, because it's going to be tough to get open against corners that's more physical than you as a rookie. But when you fast, you can beat them with your speed. Now, Puka Nacua is a phenom. Maybe Marvin Harrison is better than Puka Nacua, and he gets hyper-targeted like Puka Nacua and goes out and booms. Maybe he could do that. But I'm just not going to go off of that because of what he did at Ohio State. I think he's a great wide receiver in college, and I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver in the pros. But I like more of a speed wide receiver, and that's just my takes. That don't mean that Marvin Harrison is going to be a bust or anything. Yes, they are deep. They deep every year, bruh. Tank Dell, Antonio Brown, Tyreek Hill, wide receivers are deep every single year, bruh. They ain't never been a year that a wide receiver wasn't great in the later rounds. There's always a good wide receiver that's going to be drafted late. Always. Running backs too. It's talent. Listen, it's a lot of talent in the NFL. You can find talent all throughout. Offensive linemen usually are front loaded. You don't usually find too many Hall of Famers at the back end. But the rest of the positions, skill positions, even quarterback positions, you can find them all over. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. All right. We got a couple more guys, and I got a bonus guy for you too. Okay, so the next guy is going to be Alvin Kamara. Yes, guys, Alvin Kamara. I don't believe that Alvin Kamara is going to stay on the New Orleans Saints. They trying to get Derek Carr back, so maybe they do. I think Alvin Kamara is looking for $11-12 million this year. I don't know if they want to pay him that type of money. So I think they cut him, or they release him, or trade him. So I believe that Alvin Kamara, guys, is going to a great team. That's why I love these older kind of running backs and see where they go. So I think Alvin Kamara could be a league winner. He's a PPR guy. He's still really good, a good running back. He still can break tackles. He's still fast. He just got a little bit of age on him. I think he's he's like 28, 27 years old. So I believe that Alvin Kamara, guys, should be a guy that you should be targeting as like a flex play RB2. I wouldn't take him in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, but the 4th round, I would take him. 4th round, I'm taking Alvin Kamara. And this just depends. You could take him early. It just depends on what's on the board, what type of build that you're trying to have. But I love Alvin Kamara this year, guys. I'm not telling you to take him over some of these younger running backs who's going to be hitting. Like I think Tyjae Spears is good. And he's not on this list, but Tyjae Spears is a running back that I'm looking to take probably before I get to Alvin. But Alvin to me could be a top 5 running back because of his value and the way he produces. If you go to the right team, if he goes to Kansas City, and I'm putting everybody through Kansas City that's a free agent because they're looking for some big time players. They got a lot of cap room. They probably gonna get rid of the Snead, let him walk or trade him, and they're going to be looking for a number 1 wide receiver and another good running back. So that's why I keep saying somebody's going to Kansas City and somebody's going to Buffalo and somebody's going to these top teams that need help. Even Philadelphia Eagles. All right. So my last guy, and I got another bonus guy, so thank you everybody that's tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. My next guy is going to be Josh Jacobs. Yes, they do, Dollar Bill, because Commanders do got a lot of money. I love what they did. I love the hire. I'm not big on defensive coordinators, but I do like the top tier defensive coordinators. So by them getting Dan Quinn, I think that's going to help out those young talent, those that Brandon Forbes, not Forbes, but Emmanuel. I think his name is Emmanuel Forbes. He's a corner. He was drafted in the top 10. I think Dan Quinn gonna have him balling. And hopefully they run the ball, right? I didn't like the way Eric Bieniemy did with Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. So hopefully they get a really good offensive coordinator and turn this team around. And I think they are. I think they're going to try to move up to get Caleb for Drake May or even Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels right now a little bit over Drake May. I'm giving y'all a little insight. I like Jaden Daniels a little bit. I'm calling him Baby Lamar. Jaden Daniels, I'm going to call him Baby Lamar. I think he looks just like Lamar Jackson. Looks just like Lamar Jackson playing. Just like him. What's going on, Giddy? He says, can you do a quick recap of the running backs you named? I think I joined in a few minutes late. Yes, bro. So, first one was Aaron Jones. The second one was Derek Carr. The third one was Austin Eckler. And number 4 was Alvin Kamara. Okay. So, Josh Jacobs, guys, I believe that Josh Jacobs is going to go to some team that's going to use him for goal line opportunities. This is a good goal line back. Now, listen, guys, running backs are going to last longer now because they are going to be in committees. That's why a lot of people want Jahmyr Gibbs to be bell cow. What do you want him to be bell cow and then his career is over in 2 years? They not going to bail. That's why they got David Montgomery. Now, I'm getting Jahmyr Gibbs for the explosiveness, for the big plays. That's why you need to have settings in your league for big plays. That way you can distinguish between good players and bad players. If you let everything be equal, do you have guys like David Montgomery outplaying some of the better players who've having like big plays in the game? So that's why I like to do first downs and big time yardage plays as a bonus. Also, as far as like your yardage, you get a little bonus for. So if you get like 200 yards or something, you get like a bonus. But yes, Josh Jacobs is going to be on a committee, but he's going to be getting a bulk load of the early down work and the goal line work. He's probably going to have a scat back with him. So I don't know where he goes, but either way, he's not going to get 100% of the carries like he did with the Raiders. I think he's going to be splitting time with some type of pass-catching running back. But that doesn't scare me. I actually like that better because that's why David Montgomery, I talked about David Montgomery all offseason. I said, guys, David Montgomery is a good running back to take. He's going to be getting goal line carries. Jahmyr Gibbs is volatile. He was volatile. He's injuries. You don't want to use him too much. You want to use him at certain times of the game. You don't want to give nobody 100% of the carries. Even Bijan Robinson, I like the way he was used some of the time, but it was times where they need to let him go and they wouldn't. That's why Arthur Smith lost his job. But yes, guys, I like Josh Jacobs. So be looking to pick him up at the right ADP in startups. And for redraft, I buy low on him. So if I have a second round pick and I'm looking for a running back, I don't think it's bad to give up a second round pick to go get Josh Jacobs. Now listen, this is a 1-year rental. I'm not saying this guy's going to be good for 3 years. This is just a 1-year rental. This is a 1-year make your move. And I'm going to also break videos down to tell you how to win in Dynasty. Sometimes you got to like with me, I got some young wide receivers. And I got a young court. I got Jordan Love, and I think I got Anthony Richardson in the league. And then I think I got Amon-Ra. and Nico Collins. I got that type, but then I got some older running backs that, and I also got some picks coming up. So I'm trying to get some of these older running backs to throw them in with my young killer wide receivers and my really good quarterbacks. You got to throw in these guys like that. So you can't just win. Because listen, a lot of you play for the rookie draft in Dynasty, or you play for names. Oh, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, what is Jahmyr Gibbs gonna do for your team? Like you gotta apply the right people for your team, right? So you might need one of these older running backs that's gonna get goal line carries instead of going and get a young rookie running back coming out of the draft. Now, that's good to get them and hold on to them. That's another thing. You stash rookie running backs. You got to be able to hold on to them until the fourth quadrant. They hit in the fourth quadrant, which is the last 4 weeks of the season. But if you got Jahmyr Gibbs and you thought he was going to ball in the beginning of the season, you were sadly mistaken and you probably didn't go to the playoffs. But if you held on to Jahmyr Gibbs about week 8, week 7, when David Montgomery went down, all of a sudden this guy was good. And then when David Montgomery came back, he went down again. But if you had to hold on to him. If you held on to him, he gave you some boom games in the playoffs. So you got to hold on to rookie running backs. With these veteran running backs, you got to try to draft as many of these guys as you can late in your draft to see who's going to work. I didn't know Raheem Mostert was going to hit, but you know what? I had Raheem Mostert, I had Connor, I had Devin Singletary, let me see, Elijah Mitchell, Javonte Williams, Pacheco. I had all these guys. Like, and not all on the same team, but in different leagues. But who's going to hit? I don't know. Until they started showing what they had on the field, then I moved them up. I said, oh, this is the guy I'm playing. So I like to get running backs late. And I think these guys like Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, and Aaron Jones are guys that you can go and draft late in your drafts and see what happens. And it's not going to cost you a lot if they retire or if they don't do really well. It's not going to cost you a lot. All right, let me see what we got in here. D-Line says, yes, sir, Jaden Daniels is going to be the #1 quarterback from his draft in a few years. He could be. I live in Louisiana, okay, and I despise these LSU fans, but JD is a baller. He is a baller. He looks like, I'm calling him Baby Lamar. Yeah, Forbes. Yep, Dollar Bill, you're right, Forbes. Dollar Bill says Monty is paid $18 million. They not changing what they did last year. Yeah, but listen. So that $18 million, that's front loaded. They'll get rid of you if they need to. Listen, not Chuba, but Miles Sanders got a nice deal. I think he got more money than David Montgomery. But he's not going to be starting there. The only reason they're not going to cut him, per se, they will cut him if they need to, is because they're going to pay him, I think he got like $4 million that's guaranteed on his deal. But all that money is not guaranteed. All the money is not guaranteed. That's why they do it in a 2-year front load like contract. Because if you start sucking, they'll get rid of you. They'll go ahead and pay you or take that cap hit and get you off the team. $4 or $5 million ain't a lot of money. So David Montgomery, he got most of that money, that $18 million last year. This year, he probably might be owed $5 or $6 million. Go check me, guys. Go fact check me on that. I could be off a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's how they do contracts. So, but they always gonna keep a running back there with Jahmyr Gibbs. Guys will never get the full backfield, never ever. But guess what? You don't want them to get the full backfield, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. We got 5 likes in here. We got 12 people in here. Make sure you hit the like button. But you don't want Jahmyr Gibbs to get the full workload. 50-50. Right. It's always going 50-50. He said, you sure did, because I was on Gibbs, but I didn't think they would use Monty that much. Monty hurt my Gibbs value until about mid-season when Gibbs started balling. Right. And that's what Gibbs is going to be. He's going to be like a guy who make big plays. He ain't going to be a guy that's going to get you 20 carries every week. It might be a couple of weeks where he might give you 20 carries, especially when David Montgomery might have an injury or, you know, whatever, something could be going on. But usually they're going to split it, and then it's going to be some Jahmyr Gibbs big weeks. There's going to be some David Montgomery big weeks. To me, those are one of the running backs that fields that I'm playing together. Nobody else talks about that. So, guys, when y'all see these other channels talking about I'm gonna start playing guys together. Notice that I was the very first one that said to do that in the whole YouTube community. Play two running backs on the same team, play them together. I'm playing David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs together. That way, I'm going to get that boom. Whoever boom, I'm going to get it. Unless they going against a great matchup, then I might just play Jahmyr, right? If it's a great matchup where a team been shutting down the run, I might go. I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to take a dub from both guys. So maybe I just play Jahmyr and go to somebody on the bench if I got a really good play. But if I don't, usually I don't try to have too many running backs because I don't make those decisions. I don't like going and try to say, well, who should I play? I got CMC and Nick Chubb and Jonathan Taylor. I don't want all three guys on my team. That's how you lose. That's how you lose. You gotta give room for your guys to grow and be able to play them. That's what I did with Raheem Mostert earlier. I was just playing Raheem Mostert and it was hitting. Now later in the season it was an easy play, but usually I was like, man, I ain't got nobody else, so I'm playing Raheem Mostert. I don't want your team should not be too top heavy. You don't want too many studs. You want studs like for your wide receiver one, your quarterback one, but you don't want guys on the bench that's your stud because each week you're gonna be like, TD, who should I play? And we're gonna be missing. Because nobody's perfect. We're gonna be, we'll play him. We was off. Play him. He was off. He playing against a weak defense. We was off. We hit this week. Like, I don't want to do that. Just play your guys and let them go. Occam Razor. Right. You right, D-Line. You squeeze. Right. Right, Isaac. What's good with you, Durf boy? Yes, sir, bruh. I see you, Big Wheel, in the house. Yes, sir. D-Line says, Artie in Pittsburgh. Right. Najee Warren still on my dynasty team. I feel a lot better this year with them. Yes, and you got to probably play them together. But you're gonna have to see. Maybe Warren takes over. Maybe Najee has a breakout season. We don't know. But you got both of them. Nobody else is taking those two out. So you squeezing. Whoever. That's a great running backfield because of the way the Pittsburgh Steelers play. So you're gonna have those points regardless. All right, guys. My last bonus guy before I get out of here, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. It's going to be Joe Mixon. Yes, guys, Joe Mixon. Now, listen, I haven't been on Joe Mixon in 3 or 4 years. I used to, because I love Joe Mixon coming out of college, and I thought he was a great back. And then after like 2 years, after he got that deal, the team shifted to like a Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins type, and he started like playing second fiddle, and I didn't want to take that risk anymore. So, but this year, he's going to a team where he's going to get goal line opportunities. Like I'm saying, this guy, he might not be top 12. He might be like a top 24 fringe guy, but he's going to be able to give you some boost. So if somebody get hurt, he'll be winning for you for like 2 or 3 weeks, right? So you want to be able to get many of these type of guys as you can. That's my strategy. Go wide receiver heavy in the first round. Get your studs like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, those type of guys. And then you go running backs, you go get the young running backs. You go B. John Robinson, Breach Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs. Then you start taking your quarterbacks, the top tier quarterbacks. And then you start getting some of these second year breakout wide receivers like a Waddle type, right? And then once you get all those breakout, like Michael Pittman, once those guys are gone, then you start stacking these running backs. Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry. You start David Montgomery. And then some of those guys are going to hit. All of them not going to hit, but some of those are going to hit. That's how you got David Montgomery. That's how you got Raheem Mostert last year. So that's my plan. So I love Joe Mixon this year just to stack on your team because he's going to be getting goal line opportunities. You don't have a Joe Mixon on your team for 8 carries. You can have a Joe Mixon on your team for 15 carries, goal line opportunities. Like, remember what David Montgomery was for the Chicago Bears before he got the deal in Detroit. I don't want no David Montgomery. He okay. He run hard. Joe Mixon, man, he okay. He run hard. So these guys transform when they go on different teams and get a different type of workload. Yeah, and Mixon do catch passes, but that he's not going to go on a team where they're going to give him a lot of passes out the backfield. He's going to play second fiddle to a more PPR type satellite guy. because he's just a bigger back. Now he will catch some passes, but he's not gonna catch a lot of passes, right? Not like an Austin Eckler or Alvin Kamara. That's what I mean. But yeah, Joe Mixon can catch passes. All these guys can catch outside of maybe even Derrick Henry. Josh Jacobs can catch too. Zach, what's up, Zach? Zach says, where do you think Saquon would go? He might go to the Texans or Chargers. I agree. I think the Chargers. Now, listen, guys, and I'm gonna give y'all some gas. I'm not drafting Justin Herbert this year in redraft unless I'm getting him as a discount, because he's not gonna throw the ball. He's not gonna lead the league in targets this year. He's not gonna be a top 5 quarterback. Can he be top 12? Yes. So they looking for a bell cow running back. They probably gonna get like a guy like, they're gonna offer Saquon a lot of money. So he's probably gonna have to take it. I think he could go to the Cowboys. I think he could go to the Baltimore Ravens. But I think the Chargers could get him, and they're gonna try to get some young running backs too. And they're gonna be a predominantly run team, play action over the top of your head, right? Keenan Allen, I'm not even taking Keenan Allen if he stays on the Chargers, because I don't think they're gonna throw the ball a lot on first down as much. I think it's gonna be mostly a deep play action type game. If you look at what Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith did, or JJ McCarthy, or any of those quarterbacks that's been in Michigan or San Francisco 49ers, or even Stanford with Andrew Luck, it was a play action type game with CMC. Even when CMC was in Stanford with Andrew Luck, it was a play action type game, and then they threw the ball downfield. And Andrew Luck never led the college in passing, but his efficiency was great. So that's what's going to happen with Justin Herbert. His efficiency is going to go up, and Saquon's going to get a lot of carries if he goes there. So I believe Saquon can go there. So whatever running back goes to the Chargers, just know that he's going to get a lot of work. I'm not going to say he's going to get 100%, but he probably will lead the league in carries. Look at Frank Gore. Look at Carlos Hyde. Look at those running backs when he was in San Francisco. Go back and even look at remember he recruited Zach Charbonnet even though he left. So go back and look at those Michigan running backs. These guys was getting a lot of work. So I like Saquon to go there. Let me see what else you said. The Texans, I think that's tremendous. Like, I think with CJ Stroud passing that ball around to Tank and Nico, I think that'll be an explosive offense. So he could go there, but I don't know if Texans offer him a lot of money. Maybe they try to get a rookie running back and keep using Devin Singletary and a little bit of Dameon Pierce, right? I don't know if they go and spend a bunch of money there. They might rather spend money on the offensive line to protect CJ, maybe spend some more money on that defense, which that defense is ready to go now. So, yeah, Frank Gore Jr. is in the draft. He is in the draft. Yes, sir, D-Lion. Yeah. Let me see. Zach says, I'm high on Breach. I am high on Breach too. That's one of the guys that I'm willing to draft in the first round this year. Remember, I was off for Breach. The reason why I was off for Breach because he came off that knee injury. But this year, I'm high on Breach. I'm high on Breach. I love Breach Hall this year. Breece. Guys, hit the like button. What's going on, Charlene? Guys, make sure you hit the like button. We got 16 people in here. We only got 12 likes. Let's get the likes up. All right, let me see. Zach says, I think Chase Brown could get some more of the work on the Bengals. He could. Somebody else is coming in there too. I doubt if Joe Mixon, I don't even think they want Joe Mixon on the team, so he can't even take a discount. But I believe that Chase Brown's going to be a scat back for them. I don't think he's going to be like a Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think he could be that type of, the way they deploy him. He would be deployed like a Jahmyr Gibbs type. And I believe he could be a top 24 fringe type running back, and he could have some big weeks for you where he could be top 10, top 12, top 5. So I like Chase Brown, and I'm not going to get him super early, but it is a guy that I'm targeting, and I do like Chase Brown as a second-year running back. I liked him last year. He was my #1 running back coming out Now I look at running backs different. Go back and look at my top 5 running backs. I had Jahmyr Gibbs on there, and I had Bijan. Bijan was my number 1, and Jahmyr was like my 3 or 4 running back. But I had Chase Brown over Jahmyr because of Chase, the way he run between the tackles, which Jahmyr did really good with that this year. But he had a great offensive line. I think Chase is very strong, and he runs hard between the tackles. He did in the Big Ten. So I like Chase Brown. Dollar Bill says, word on the street, Saquon talks with Giants went good. Listen, they're gonna have to give him a bag. I mean, it ain't gonna have to be no super bag, but he ain't taking no home team discount. They're gonna have to give him about $12 million a year for 2 years. So he's gonna have to at least get a $28 million deal. So it's gonna have to be 2 years, maybe a $15 million, $20 million signing bonus, and the rest of it equal up to about $7 million a year. But he won't guarantee $25 to $26 million a year. He won't that guarantee. They're gonna have to give him guarantee the first 2 years of his deal. And I don't know if they're gonna do that. Isaac says Saquon could be RB1 on a better offense. I agree. Now, I love Saquon this year. I didn't have him on this list because I'm taking Saquon at the turn. I might take him in the first round. Just depending on who left on the board. That's why, guys, y'all need to make sure y'all get some draft consultations with me this year. And a draft consultation, guys, is $80, but I'm with you the whole draft. The whole draft. If it's 2-3 hours long, I'm gonna stay there with you the whole draft. And also, if you get it with the draft guide, then I'm gonna drop that down to probably like $50. So if you buy the draft guide and you get the draft consultation, that's probably, you could probably get that whole deal. I don't know, guys, yet, but it's probably gonna be like 50 some bucks. I'm willing to do that. You can get the whole deal, and I can tell you how to use my draft guide. My draft guide is going to be different. I'm only going to talk about probably like 20, 25 players. I might talk about some lesser tier players, but I'm going to tell you what guys that you need to build for the pillars of your team. It's like 3 or 4 guys that you need to try to aim for when you drafted in the first round. And you need to have those guys, and I'm going to tell you. And then after that, and I'm going to give you guys ways that you need to build. And I'm not going to talk about guys that are not that important, but I will talk about the rookies, the tiers, when to draft, what quarterbacks to be targeting, when to target them. So y'all want to be looking for that to get that draft guide. That draft guide is going to be $25 by itself, $24.99. So you're going to want to make sure you get that. But if you get both of them together, you get the draft package and the draft guide, you're going to spend like $50, and that's a killer value. That's a killer value. Okay. Let me see what else going on. Saquon could be the RB1 but yep. Frank Gore Jr., right. D-Lion says, Breach House. You right, bruh. You right. What's going on, Charlene? D-Lion says, Bijan to the Falcons made me back off drafting him. Yeah, man. They just need a quarterback. If they get a good quarterback, I'm gonna look like if they get somebody like Joe Flacco, I think they're gonna be tremendous. Yep, if they can get somebody like Joe Flacco, I think that'd be tremendous. Or a good young quarterback, or a veteran, Kirk Cousins, anybody. So he said, your thoughts on Jacobs? I like Jacobs. I don't think he's gonna get 90% of the carries, but I think he will go somewhere and get 60%. I look for Josh Jacobs to be a David Montgomery this year. Josh Jacobs could be a David Montgomery this year. That's what I'm looking for him to go to a team where he can get used like that. I'm not looking for him to go to a team to be used like a Derrick Henry. And you may see a little bit of that because Derrick Henry, Tyjae Spears took a lot of carries and opportunities from Derrick Henry, just depending on the game script. So I like Josh Jacobs. I'm not taking him in the first 3 rounds, but I would take him at the end of the 3rd round going into the 4th round. I'm not looking to get him no earlier than that because I think there's a lot of good value on your draft boards that early. And as time go on, that's why we're going to keep doing these mock drafts. We will know. D-Lion says, if you think the Bears keep Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. the number 1, you can take it at plus 2,500. I don't think so, man. I don't think you go and let Justin Fields be talked about like that in the news media, and then you keep him. I think the relationship has been severed. I don't think they disrespected him, but I don't think now he could come back there because he don't trust the regime. So I don't think he's going to be there. I think they're going to trade him. I don't know when. I'm thinking draft day, but I don't think he's going to be there. If it was me, I would keep Justin Fields, trade that number one overall pick, and load my team up with offensive linemen and defensive players, and probably move back to try to take Marvin Harrison Jr. with DJ Moore. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. would be a great number two wide receiver to learn under DJ Moore for a while. And then you got Cole Kmet, and then you could go draft some other, you got Roschon Johnson, you can get another running back. Your offensive line will be even better. Justin Fields. I don't like the offensive coordinator they got. I think they should have got somebody like a Cliff or somebody like that for Justin Fields, but they ain't doing that. But that's what I would have done. He says, but Fields coming to Pittsburgh, so I don't know, man. It's all about Arthur Smith. If he do go there, can Arthur Smith help Justin Fields evolve into the quarterback that everybody want to see? I don't know if Arthur Smith can do that. I see him as a great play action type guy, like pocket quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill, those type of guys. I don't know if he's great with a dual threat. Zach says, if Justin Fields goes to the Falcons, you think that he takes away rushing touchdowns or fantasy value from Bijan? No, I think both of them ball out. I think they help each other. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be taking a lot of rushing touchdowns. I don't think he's quite Josh Allen, not athletic ability, but I mean, I don't think they're going to use him like that. I think he will have some rushing touchdowns, but I think Bijan is special. And even if Bijan don't have, let's say he has 8 rushing touchdowns, I still think he have a lot of receiving touchdowns, and they're going to use Bijan in different ways. They're going to line him up at the wide receiver. The new offensive coordinator, I believe so. Kind of way they use Kyron Williams. The offensive coordinator, I think they got there, if I'm not mistaken, guys, vet me on this, I think he came from the Los Angeles Rams regime. So I think Bijan is going to have like a Kyron Williams type explosive year with a good quarterback. They need a good quarterback, though. Zach says, also, I heard Baker Mayfield could possibly go to the Falcons. That's garbage. I'm not touching. If if Baker goes there, I'm not touching that. I'm sorry. It's not about Baker. I think Baker is a good quarterback to win you some games, but I don't think that's a trajectory even for fantasy that I would like, and I don't think it's a good trajectory to go on to help your team to go to the next level. If you think Baker Mayfield is going to make Kyle Pitts and Drake London better, then the Falcons are garbage, and they just wasted Drake London and Kyle Pitts' career, and on the way to waste Bijan's. Zach says Austin Eckler to the Bears. I think that'll be fine. Get the ball out quick to him, use him in space. He get about 6-7 passes a game. I think he'll be great there. I think Austin Eckler will be great on any team that needs a second satellite back. Not a go-to guy, not a guy that's getting 90% of the carries, but a guy that's going to come in and catch passes. I think he could be phenomenal at that. Isaac says they said they believe in Pickett. I wish they would pick it myself. That's just me. If you draft him in the first round, then trust him. If not, why'd you draft him in the first round? I'm just not big in drafting a person in the first round and realize it's a mistake and move on. I don't think you should make a mistake in the first round with a quarterback like that and start him off and just the way his career is going. I don't see that a lot with the top offensive coordinator. So I think that's the Steelers' fault if they move on from Pickett. That's just my 2 cents. Dollar Bill says Bijan equals CMC Jr. Right. I agree with that. Even a little bit different. I think Bijan can take more carries behind the line of scrimmage, which CMC can too. But you're right. I think their game is very, very similar. Very, very similar. Charlene says Cousins may go to the Falcons. I'm okay with that, but you still got to draft somebody. If you do that, then that means that you need to go get Shedeur Sanders. I think Shedeur Sanders is better than Caleb Williams. I think Shedeur Sanders is better than Drake May. I think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in college football. So if you want to wait the next year, and then after this year, then yeah, that's fine. But Cousins is not the future. But I think he'd be a good bridge. He's a great bridge quarterback. B Growing, what's up, bruh? Guys, make sure you hit the like button. B Growing says Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. Listen, man, I hate to be rough on Russell. I don't know nobody who need Russell. If you want Russell, man, in Pittsburgh, I mean, who am I to say? Because Russell could come out and play good. I just don't think he's the same player the way he plays the game. I don't think he can get out the pocket like he used to. I think Russell used to be what I call a secondary break quarterback, where he would sit back in the pocket to make things happen. And then when you would come at them, he would make guys miss and take off and make plays. I don't think he can get out of trouble like he used to. So now he needs to be more of a timing quarterback and get the ball out quick. And I don't think that's his game. I don't think that's the way he processed the game. And I think it makes him an average quarterback when he has to get the ball out quick. But when he can go and improv, I think Russell Wilson is great. But you got to allow him to be the improv. They got to use him like CMC, though. I agree, Isaac. They do got to use him like CMC. Shorty says, I like Walker and Charbonnet. I like both of them, too. I'm not big on Walker, but I do like both of them to see what happens. But I don't know who's going to boom. I don't know if Charbonnet is going to take over, but I do like drafting. If I draft one of them, I want both. So if I do get Walker, I got to get Charbonnet in fantasy football. Isaac says, what do Giants do at quarterback? I know you like DJ, but he only has 1 year left coming off an injury too. Well, as far as 1 year, he got 1 year guaranteed on that deal where they can let him go after that, and they may pay him a little bit of money after that. I think the reason why they didn't let Daniel Jones go, man, is because if somebody else get him, they can turn him into a monster. Imagine if he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles and learns behind Jalen Hurts, learns behind any of these top offensive coordinators. Like, say if he go to the Rams and he learns behind Sean McVay until Matthew Stafford retire. So that's why they don't want Daniel Jones. That's why I believe in Daniel Jones, and that's why I believe that he could win MVP. It's because I think the guy's very intelligent, but the way he played this year, I don't know what was going on. If maybe he lost it, maybe it was Dayball, I don't know, man, but that wasn't the same quarterback. It just didn't look right. I don't know if it was the offensive line, his timing. I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know if the pressure, the deal, what happened. Daniel Jones is a very mentally tough guy, too, so I don't know what happened last year, man. But I still like Daniel Jones. I still think that he has a lot of potential, and if he goes to the right system, he could be good, and I still think he could have a good season for the Giants. He could, the sky's the limit, right? That's just my 2 cents. But if anybody else not on Daniel Jones, I clearly understand. I'm not going to chastise anybody by saying Daniel Jones sucks, but I believe in him. So when everybody get on him, if he start playing good, I'm not going to be like, I told you so, but I'm like, I'm not shocked at anything. D-Lion says, I love Pickett, but if we have the Russ or Fields, I'm about having Pickett on the bench. I got you. Man, the only thing I would say about that, man, you don't want to start a guy and then put him on the bench. You can ruin him that way. So that's why you got to wait before you start a guy. If you think a guy can play bad, then you don't start him early. They can never put Bryce Young back on the bench. Like, once you let a guy go, you can't, in NFL football, you can't, like, put him on the bench. If they put Kenny Pickett on the bench, he's done for as a Pittsburgh Steeler, if you ask me. He's done. I don't think he's going to trust the coaches anymore. And you need to be happy. It's that sports psychology stuff. And so when a team that benched you, it's like a girl that broke up with you and she want to get back with you. Why you want to get back with her? She went out and flirted and probably laid up with some other guys. I don't want her. Let those guys have her. The relationship is over. If you want me, you stay with me and we'll push through. And if I fail, I fail. Then we can go our separate ways. But if you go and move on and you need some space, I'm done with you. So I think if they bitch Kenny Pickett, I think he should demand a trade immediately, just like Trey Lance. That's why they traded Trey Lance. They could have said, no, Trey, you're going to stay on the bench. Trey, they not going to do that to Trey because if you respect Trey, he ain't playing second fiddle to no Brock Purdy. He got drafted too early for that. He says, we made the playoff with Hodges, Pickett, Rudolph. Imagine if we actually had a quarterback. Love you 7, miss you 7. Right. Right. You right. I mean, I just think I should have kept riding out with Pickett. That's just my 2 cents. Isaac says, I've got the 1-3 in a dynasty. Is it worth snagging Malik Neighbors over a guy like Jaden Daniels? No, take the value. If you in Superflex. So Isaac, if you in Superflex, take the quarterback. If you're not in Superflex, take Neighbors. So Superflex, you gotta take the value. In single quarterback leagues where you only starting one quarterback, then you got to go with the best positional player. Because quarterbacks don't mean nothing in single quarterback leagues if it's not super flex, right? They don't have that much value. But I remember this year, guys, I could have took I had two really good quarterbacks. I had Lamar and Daniel Jones and another quarterback. And I was at the 1-5 and CJ Stroud was still there. And I wanted to get B. I was trying to trade that pick and try to move up to get B. John, and nobody wanted to do it. And I liked Zay Flowers, but I had a lot of good wide receivers, so I took CJ Stroud instead. And look what I got now. Now I got a team full of deep quarterbacks that I can trade and get almost anything that I want because I took the value. So go take the value. Don't go take a positional player just because you don't need it. So now, if it's single quarterback, don't get that quarterback. But if it's super flex, get that quarterback. No, I don't care if you had Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. You still take a quarterback if it's super flex. Isaac says, I got Daniel Jones, Purdy, and Burrow. All right, is it super flex? If it's super flex, you got to take Jaden Daniels. You can always go and get whoever you want if you take Jaden Daniels. You can make that move now. And you got to do it kind of before the season starts, because look what you could have got for Bryce Young before the season starts. So if you want, go take the quarterback in Superflex, and then go trade for Neighbors and something else. You probably can get Neighbors and another second-round pick or a third-round pick with it. Nifty says, I've been watching Jones for like 5 years. He not it, gang. I feel you, bro. But this is what I would say. This is what I would ask you, Nifty. This is exactly what I would ask you. Let me cycle through this. What was Baker Mayfield? Because you know Baker Mayfield was on his way to be out the league. Also Steve Young. So Daniel Jones had clearly outplayed Steve Young. He clearly outplayed Baker Mayfield. And so look what these guys end up being. Look what Baker Mayfield on his way to get another deal. Been on 3 or 4 teams. So I want to ask you that, Nifty. Tell me what you thought about Steve Young and what you thought about Baker Mayfield. And hold on, it's a couple more other quarterbacks that I want to talk about too. Tell me what you thought about Jalen Hurts as a rookie. Tell me what you thought about Jalen Hurts as a rookie. Let me see. It's a couple other guys. Jared Goff with the Detroit Lions. Tell me what you thought about Jared Goff, because these guys have changed. So what I'm saying, it's no way that you can't. It's hard that Zach Wilson. I would even say Zach Wilson. If you put him with Andy Reid, Zach Wilson will look like a different quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be a league-winning quarterback or he's going to be a starter, but he will get a lot better. So I've seen quarterbacks look bad and then they go to somewhere else and they look different because of coaching. So I want to ask you, Nifty. Jordan Love, tell me what you thought Jordan Love was the second, third game of the season. Because he was man, he ain't it. He ain't it because he had some bad games. Let me see. There's couple other guys too. Geno Smith. What did you think about Geno Smith with the New York Jets and the Giants? Charlene says, your thoughts on Deshaun Watson this year? Take him with the right ADP. Don't try to, if you want to wait late and get a quarterback and he's there, take him, but you got to go get a backup too. So you might have to take Deshaun Watson and you got to go get another guy. So if you get Deshaun Watson, maybe one of the rookie quarterbacks is there that's starting and you take him. But you cannot get Deshaun Watson and let him be your whole offense and think that he's going to have a big season. But he could. So there's nothing wrong with drafting him. You can wait late to get him, but you got to have a backup plan. You got to have a plan B and maybe even a plan C. But I think he's worth that type of strategy. Nifty says my Giants need a franchise quarterback. Now, you could be right, bro. You could be right. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying this. I want to know what you think about these other quarterbacks that change their career around, because a lot of people tend to forget. A lot of people be like, yeah, well, Baker. I always said Baker was good. I always said Geno Smith was good. No, you did not. No, you did not. You thought those guys sucked, and then all of a sudden they have one good year, and then everybody forgot what they said about those guys. So you got to understand that you got to give guys a process to go through the gambling. That's what I would say. But let me know, Nifty, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything, because I have a lot of debates like this at work, and guys be like, well, this guy sucked. I was like, well, what did you say about this guy? Like Tua. There you go. So I heard a couple guys are like, man, this guy sucked. This guy sucked. I was like, what do you think about Tua? This guy had the nerve to say, I thought Tua was good. No, you did not think Tua was good. Before Tyreek Hill got there, they had bitched Tua. They thought they was trying to move up to go get a quarterback. They were like, what is Tua? What is Tua? Tua's garbage, man. He's hurt. He's got the concussion. It wasn't even concussions at that point in time. It was something else. It was the surgery on his hip. And then he came out and boom, then what everybody say? Well, Tua always been good. He was accurate. No. So you got to understand. If you give Mike McDaniels Daniel Jones, what you think he's gonna do with him? That's my opinion about that. I'm not saying he still can suck, but Baker Mayfield, I know Daniel Jones is better than Baker Mayfield. That's my 2 cents on that. He's better than Baker. So there's no way you're gonna be able to tell me that Baker, and that's your opinion, I respect it, but there's no way that I'm gonna agree that Baker Mayfield is better than Daniel Jones. I think coaching and opportunity is the difference. Zach says, do you think Justin Jefferson goes to another team or stays with the Vikings? If he goes to the Chiefs, that would be insane. Nah, he ain't going to the Chiefs. He ain't no way. I would bet $1,000 that he'll. Man, if he go to the Chiefs, the NFL is cheating. There's no way that Minnesota would ever give up. Only way they would give up Justin Jefferson to the Chiefs if they give up Pat Mahomes. So Justin Jefferson ain't going nowhere. If they give up Justin Jefferson, they better get 2 first-round picks. And something. I mean, you better get a haul for Justin Jefferson. So you don't give up star players and give them up to other people. That's a phenom type guy. You can't give him up. So I think he's going to stay on the Minnesota Vikings. Isaac says, laugh out loud. Your relationship advice as good as football advice. Love it. I always talk about it, bro. That's how I do it. I always bring it in. People might not understand it at first or whatever, but that's how I do. I think I look at life, not just fantasy football. I look at life as a metaphor. What you do here is what you do here. Now the nuances might be different. So I'm trying to get the best player available. I'm trying to get the best girlfriend that I can get. I ain't got to get the prettiest Margot Robbie CMC. You can win with I can't think of any I don't want any average celebrity women right now. But you don't always gotta have the best of the best and sell your soul. You know what I mean? Sell your soul to try to get some type of elite player or elite girlfriend, and then it's not really what you thought it was gonna be. So I use so many metaphors like that in life because I believe that's what life is about, especially in fantasy football. So appreciate that, bro. Isaac says, Nifty, I feel that too. I want them to draft a first-round quarterback. Again, that's fine. But I want y'all to tell me what you think about Baker Mayfield last year and when he got cut from Cleveland. Also, what you thought about Tua before Mike McDaniels got there. And then I'll say, okay, that's fair. But if I can't let y'all bully Daniel Jones when you ain't talking about Tua no more. Because if you want to talk about Daniel Jones, you got to talk about Tua. What's the difference? Tell me what's the difference between Tua and Daniel Jones? Because Daniel Jones outperformed Tua the first 2 years when they came into the NFL. Daniel Jones had some 300-yard games. Tua never had a 300-yard game before Mike McDaniels got there. Tua was on his way to be cut to go out to get out the NFL. Steve Young, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts didn't have it. He got benched after his rookie year. They went back to another quarterback. Nifty says, okay. Shorty says, tell the L out of the lover and it's over. Laugh out loud. And D-Line says whoever gets JJ McCarthy will be instantly trashed the next 3 years. Calling it now. I don't listen, man. I'm not taking no J. I don't think they're gonna take him early. I don't think nobody gonna take JJ McCarthy early. I think he's kind of like the quarterback from Georgia last year. I think he's a winner, but I don't think nobody's gonna take him early. I think he's a good quarterback to have on your team. Nizzy said, yeah, I think they want Drake May, Isaac. Isaac says, I hope they get him. New regime, new mindset. Gotta admit to mistakes instead of doubling down and tripling down. Harami says, TD Fire. Appreciate that, bro. Okay, so Nifty says, Hurts and Love got good in year 2. Jones is going into year 6, and we're talking about he can be good. No. Hurts wasn't good in year 2, bro. You got to stay. In year 1, Carson Wentz was there. In year 2, they didn't play him until like week 9 or 10, and then Hurts got to play the last like couple games, and then they benched him, and then that's when they fired Doug Peterson. That was Hurts' second year when they fired Doug Peterson. So Hurts wasn't playing. See, but that's what I'm talking about. People forget Hurts wasn't playing good year 2. Guys, let me know. Go vet me on that. Hurts, he had Daniel Jones had way better stats than Hurts did for the first 8 games of their career. It's just that Hurts, when he boomed, Daniel Jones ain't boomed like that. Hurts, when they fired Doug Peterson, Shane Steichen came in there, Hurts went off. But I would ask you, what about Tua? Because Tua been mentioning it, but look, so I would say compare Tua and Daniel Jones. Because nobody right now is saying that Tua should be out the NFL and they made a mistake with drafting Tua. Because Tua was taken before Daniel Jones was. Tua was taken at pick 6. So go. Let's compare Tua and Daniel Jones. I think, and I love it because this is a great conversation. Because this is why I be on players that sometimes people are like, well, he sucked. I'm like, I ain't gonna say he sucked. I never said Baker Mayfield sucked. I don't think he's elite, but I never said he sucked. It is some quarterbacks that suck. Zach says, do you think Anthony Richardson is similar to RG3? In his own way, he could be. Hopefully he can get past this shoulder surgery. But it's possible, man. But I don't think so. I think Anthony Richardson is talented, but as far as the injury type, I think it's very, very, very similar. He's gonna have to overcome that shoulder surgery. If he can't overcome it, then it could be a RG3 type situation. Nipsey says, I think Jones falls into the Bayfield and Geno category. Okay. Serviceable starting quarterbacks, but you're not winning a chip unless you have a 49er stack team. I agree. I take that. That's 100. That's what I'm saying, Nifty. That's all I'm saying. But listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting a phenom quarterback like a CJ Stroud. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I would tell you, man, you need to give these guys a chance to get with good offensive coordinators. If Brock Purdy was with the Jets, what you think he would be doing? People be saying, he sucked. But right now, they saying Brock Purdy was his first 2 years is one of the best years of anybody's career. Why? Because he's been playing with Shanahan. Put Daniel Jones on the on Shanahan tree. So I agree with that. Like you said, Geno too. I agree. They are very, very similar. D-Line says, TD, no, bro. Daniel Jones better than Baker. We're going to need a video on that one. Right. Yeah, Daniel Jones better than Baker? Yes, I believe so, bro. Yes, he's better than Baker. He's Geno Smith them level. He is better than Baker. He said we're gonna need a video on that. Yeah, and I do one, bro. I believe that Daniel Jones is better than Baker Mayfield. He's taller, he's more athletic, he has a better arm. Baker just had better coaching. He got with McVay and he had a good coaching with Tampa, and also Kevin Stefanski is a good coach. Daniel Jones had a special teams guy that they wasn't making Daniel Jones better. All of a sudden, the best coach he's had is Brian Daboll, and that's still up in the air. I love Brian Daboll, but that's the best coach that he's had. The rest of the guys, Pat Shermer was okay, but guys, he had 2 coaches that got fired within like 5 or 6 weeks. Like those coaches was terrible. They were terrible. Zach says Chiefs release MVS, and that's easy. I knew that. Because I think they add another receiver. If they get Justin Jefferson and the Chiefs are going to... No, they're not going to get no Justin Jefferson. I'm not even going to entertain that, bro. That ain't no... like I'm not being funny, but I'm like, that's impossible. That's like Tyreek Hill going to. Well, actually, that's a little bit different. But I know ain't no way in the world Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson going to no Kansas City Chiefs. That's impossible. It's impossible. Now, in like 2 or 3 years, if one of them get hurt or something, yeah, it's a possibility. But there's no way that the Chiefs can go get Justin Jefferson. They would have to give up Pat Mahomes. They're not gonna take just a first round pick for him. They're gonna say, well, look, give me Pat Mahomes, and we'll do it. As it says, I like DJ as a guy, a quarterback player, a New York Giants in that market, but he's not the future and not winning for the Giants. I agree with that, Isaac. I can agree with that. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say he can't win with the Giants. If you put Mike McDaniels with the Giants, I believe that Daniel Jones could be tremendous. Also, he needs some speed demon wide receivers like they gave Tua. Like, I don't believe the setup has been good for Daniel Jones. We've seen plenty of quarterbacks that when they get 30, all of a sudden they elite. Remember, Detroit got rid of Matthew Stafford. He could not win a playoff game in Detroit. Now, Jared Goff won one before him. Why? Because the setup wasn't right for Matthew Stafford in Detroit. The setup was right for him with a Sean McVay. Same thing with DJ. Give him a good offensive coordinator. Give him an elite coordinator. Give him a Cliff Kingsbury. Isaac says Mike Evans going to be a free agent. I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to. If they re-sign Baker and they let Mike Evans walk, they made a mistake. I don't think they re-sign Baker. I think Baker and Mike Evans are going to be tied together for Tampa Bay. If they let Baker go, they're going to let Mike Evans go. That's fine. But if they hold one or the other, I don't think it's going to work. Unless they get another young quarterback for Mike, and I doubt if they even do that too. Mike Evans will be okay for the Giants. I think so. I would rather see a speed demon. I want a speed demon going there. I don't want a jump ball guy. No jump ball guys. Daniel Jones is not a great jump ball guy. He's a speed demon type court. He needs like Tua. He needs to see guys get have a good amount of separation. Neither says, I'm talking about once he started playing. I'm not counting the first year when he sat behind Wentz. Okay. Well, Tua, right. But, when you get started playing and you get Shane Steichen with A.J. Brown, that's a difference, though. That's a difference. That's why Jalen Hurts played good. But if you put Jalen Hurts with the Jets, you put him on the Giants, he's not the same quarterback, if you ask me, bruh. Now, while I will say there are a few quarterbacks that could go to the Giants and been in the same opportunity that Daniel Jones was and outplayed him. I agree. But I don't think that you can take Jalen Hurts and put him on the Giants or put him in with the same offensive coordinators that Jalen Hurts had and say that Jalen Hurts clearly outplays him. But you're right. He didn't. It wasn't the first year, but once he started, yeah, he was tremendous. Yeah, but I'm not going to count that because he had a great coach, and great weapons and a whole new regime that came in and believed in him. But I get what you're saying, though. Those are it is kind of similar, but just I want to see Daniel Jones with a good offensive coordinator. He says, watch Mike Evans go to the Chiefs. That's okay. Rice and Kelsey eating everyone alive underneath, but I think they could get Coleman and be a cheaper version of Evans. I agree with that. I don't think they got I'm not saying they're gonna get a rookie wide receiver. I think they can get a trade for a veteran or somebody else. Maybe Mike Evans. It could be Mike Evans. It doesn't matter with Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. D-Line says Baker was on the right. Like Juju said, Browns is the Browns, right? D-Line says, I still got DJ on my dynasty bench, so I hope he succeeds somewhere. Yeah, man, he could or he could not. Like I said, man, I take that L from last year. I take that major L. But I just want to be congruent with he needs a good offensive coordinator. All these other quarterbacks that got good offensive coordinators. Tua got a great offensive coordinator with Mike McDaniels. Zach says Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs is possible. I like Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs with that speed. I don't think he make it to the Chiefs. I'm taking him in the first round, depending on what I need. I'm taking him in the first round. All right, guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Guys, I will be doing a mock draft tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do 2. So be looking for 12 o'clock one and a 6 o'clock one. I'm gonna try to go and do a 12 o'clock one in the evening. Appreciate that. And I'm gonna try to do one at 6 o'clock. Zach says I have DJ Moore on my dynasty team. Who should I try to trade him for? Let me see here. You have DJ Moore on your dynasty. Who should I trade him for? I don't know what your needs are, but I'm gonna throw out some guys. Let me see. I don't know, bro. I don't know what you need. I'm just trying to look at some compatibility. I wouldn't trade him for a running back because that's too volatile. I think you could trade. Okay, right. 12 Central. Now 12 Eastern time. D Lion Eastern time. He says I need a quarterback and a running back. Okay, that helps me. So you need a quarterback. I would trade DJ Moore for Kyler Murray and another piece. So Kyler Murray and a Saquon. Maybe you can get Kyler Murray and a Saquon. If you can't get Saquon, maybe you could get a Kyler Murray and an Alvin Kamara. I like Kyler Murray. I think that's a great pickup right now, a buy low guy that you can get, or Jordan Love if you get DJ Jordan Love. He said I already have Saquon. Okay. He said so we need another running back. I wouldn't do it necessarily for Kyron. For Pacheco, no. You already got Saquon. No Tajay. No Travis Etienne. You can't get Breece. I know you can't get Breece right now. I don't think you can get Bijan either. I would do Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I would try to get Jordan Love or Alvin Kamara in a piece. That's what I would do. Anytime, D Lion. Anytime, Charlene. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Nifty. Isaac. Appreciate all y'all. All right, guys, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. Y'all be safe. Peace.